Hi, welcome back. Welcome back. Let's continue from where we stopped. My phone was actually acting up. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. We're back. We're back. We're back. We are back. All right, guys. So we stopped at the stage and we're going to continue from there. We didn't go anywhere actually. So we didn't go anywhere. All right. Okay, so we are back. Let me just quickly wash my hands again, and then we'll continue from where we stopped. All right. Hi, Rebecca. You're most welcome. Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks for joining. So, yeah, we're all in, and we had already started with chin chin, but somehow my phone went off. My phone went off because it was overheating already. So, we're going to continue from where we stopped. We were sieving our flour to start with our chin chin. All right. Hi, Rebecca. How are you, Mama Rebe? You're most welcome. Thanks for joining. So we're just going to continue. We always need to sieve our flour. I was saying we need to sieve our flour because incorporating air in your flour works as a raising agent, and you also do not want to have like lumps in your chin chin, and you do not want to have any dirt in your chin chin. Sometimes you have dirt in there. Sometimes you can have parasites in there. You've got insects like how do I call it again? Weevils. Yeah, you might find weevils in your flour. So we always need to sieve our flour. Especially when you're getting your flour from home. Sometimes when you're getting it abroad, yeah, it's fine. You might skip that part, but you know, for those who are just joining, we are making chin chin from scratch. Anybody who wants to learn how to make chin chin, then you're welcome. You are at the right place and at the right time. So we are using 2 kilograms of flour. That's 2,000 grams of flour. Or you can use 16 cups. If you're having cups, or if you want to use cups, you can use 16 cups of flour. So we're going to be doing it manually. We are not using any machines, and I did wash my hands because I'm not wearing gloves. All right, I won't be wearing gloves. I'm doing this for myself, so I don't need to put on any gloves. But if you're doing it for business purposes, then you might be recommended to wear gloves. But this is for me and my family, so I do not need any gloves, and I'm using clean hands. All right. Every time I watched your video, how you went for your community service or something for your summer. I can't remember very well, but I know you were doing some hair and you were trying to make some money. You guys are lucky, at least you've got that community. You can do 1 or 2 activities. I enjoyed the video though. Thanks for sharing. Please guys, do not forget to like, comment, and share the video, please. Do share the video. Somebody might be needing it somewhere. I wish I can make videos live more often. I don't know how I will be able to do that, but I wish I can. I wish I can do this often. Yes, I did. I don't know if you saw already. I don't know. So we are going to be using 2 kilograms of flour. I'm using all-purpose flour. If you're using self-raising flour, then you would not be needing baking powder, right? I've never really used self-raising flour for my chin-chins, but I think I should put that in mind. That should be a project, but I haven't done that yet. So you can see everything is empty. Yeah. So yeah, you can see what I was saying. So you can see here, you've got some dirt in there. You do not want to have this in your chin-chins, do you? You don't want to have this. So yeah, that's why we need to always sieve our stuffs, right? Hi, Nina. Hello, Nina. How are you? Thanks for joining, Nina. Signature. Oh my God. Hi, brother Signature. Thanks for joining. You're most welcome. Thanks for joining. Hey, Juliet. How are you? Thanks for joining. I'm so happy to have you all here. Thanks for joining. Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while. Thanks so much for coming. So here we have 2,000 grams of flour. Now we're going to be adding our dried ingredients. For our dried ingredients, we have our sugar. We're going to be using sugar. We're going to be adding salt to it. We're going to be having some nutmeg. You can choose any flavor of your choice. We have vanilla. I'm going to be adding vanilla. If you're not a vanilla fan, then you can drop that. And then we have baking powder. So for my vanilla, I won't be sieving my vanilla, all right? Do not sieve your vanilla. It's needless. You're just going to be wasting it. So I'm going to add my vanilla here. I'm adding my vanilla. I'm adding 1.5 spoon. Hey, Juliet, how are you? Long time, long time. I'm enjoying your videos though. I'm enjoying your hair tutorials. And then we're going to be adding 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Now you're going to be adding leveled spoon. So this is what I usually do. I just use the spoon, I take it close to the wall, and I have this leveled one. I'm putting one there, and we are having a second one. So there we are with our 2 teaspoons of, we're going to be sieving this anyway. So we're having 2 teaspoons, and then I'm going to have some nutmeg. Ooh. I'll just put about a teaspoon. So I had some already in there. I'll just put a little bit. I don't want to overpower I don't want it to overpower the vanilla. All right, so we have that. That's 1 teaspoon. And then we're going to be having some salt, but I'm going to sieve this first. So we're going to sieve our dried ingredients first. Here we have baking powder, and we have our baking powder and our nutmeg. All right. Okay. This is actually frying. It's not baking. Very calm. It's not baking. What next? What next do we have? We're going to be adding, what's the next dry ingredient? We're going to be adding our salt. So yes, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of salt. So here's 1 teaspoon of salt, and here is another teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to be adding some powdered milk. Just give me a minute. Yes. Hi Laura, welcome in. Welcome in. So we're going to be adding a cup of powdered milk. So here we are adding our cup of powdered milk. You don't see I'm going to have okay. Hey, Just Peck. How are you? You're welcome in. And then we're gonna add in our sugar. Now we do not want it to be too sweet. I don't want it to be too sweet, so I'm going to go a little bit less on my sugar. So I'm gonna add about a cup of sugar. You need to add, if you want it to be really sweet, you can add 300 grams of sugar, but I'm gonna be adding 1 cup, and that's good for me. I think this is okay because I don't want it too sweet. All right. So I don't want it too sweet, but if you want it, if you're high on sugar, then go ahead and make use of your sugar. Right, so we've added all our dried ingredients, and we're gonna go ahead now and just mix it like this. Just mix it this way. Okay, so now we're gonna add our butter. So you need 300 grams of butter. I do not have a measuring scale, so I'm gonna use my eyes to measure my butter. So this was, and then you need soft butter. Just make sure you take off your butter from the fridge. So I had here 500 grams of butter, and I had used almost half. So this is almost half gone. So I think this is about 300 grams. So I'm going to be putting that in there. The African in me can guess. Yes, I'm using those African eyes to do what I need to do. Yes. So here we have about 300 grams of butter. Just peg you, that is, it means you're very, very rich. To replace sugar with butter in chin chin, then you should be very rich. Trust me. Because you need to always go for authentic honey. And if you're using authentic honey, it should be very expensive. That means I need to be your friend. I need to be your friend. To use honey for chin chins? Oh my God. Right, so there we go. I'm gonna add more. And then I'm gonna add this. I think that is enough. So I'll just leave this, because I also do not want my chin chin to overform. That's another challenge with chin chins, all right? So we're just gonna fold this and refrigerate it. Somebody said they use, he uses honey for chin chin. I want to be your friend, please. I want to be your friend. A bottle of original honey is nobody's friend. Anyway, let's see. We're going to give that a try someday. Yes, you can use oil instead of butter. You can use oil instead of butter. You can use margarine instead of butter as well. So you're going to use your fingers, just rub it in between your palms like so until you have this texture that feels like wet sand or moist gari. You know what I'm saying? So you can see us here. This is what it looks like. You see it when it crumbles, and then it crumbles. And now we're gonna go ahead and add in our eggs. We're gonna add eggs. So I was saying earlier, before the first live stopped, I was saying that I love using enough milk in my chin chins because they make your chin chin really crunchy, you know. But when you use too much butter, it makes your chin chin very rich and you don't have crunchy texture. It has a texture that doesn't go right with so many people, you know. Sometimes you feel nauseatic even because it's extremely rich. And then sometimes when you use too much butter, it crumbles in your pot. When frying, it just crumbles, and everything is messed up. So go in with more milk instead of more butter or more eggs. All right. Please don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share the video to your friends and family. You might have somebody out there who has been looking for. Okay. So we are here doing it live and direct. All right. So now we're going to be adding some eggs. We're going to add our wet ingredients. So we're going to add our eggs. You can use water as well. You can use powdered milk and use water, but I'm going to be using powdered milk and liquid milk. All right. So here we are. So just to be on the safe side, it's always preferable to crack your eggs separately. You do not always crack your eggs directly in your flour because you do not want to have shells in your egg, or you do not want to crack spoiled eggs in your mixture. It's better to crack spoiled egg rather than on fresh one egg than, you know, destroying the whole mixture. But always make sure you get fresh eggs from the market. That's better. It's always better. So we're using 4 eggs. Okay. So here we're just gonna put it in the middle there and then continue to mix. Now, mixing this amount of chin is quite a lot of work. I mean, it requires some muzzle. You need to muzzle up to do this. It's not for the weak. Thanks for joining, guys. Thanks so much for joining. We're going to go in with liquid milk. At this stage, you can add in some water. You can also add some water to it. Okay. Hey, Farida, welcome in. How are you? Hi, Farida. To use more of ingredients can wrong the recipe or all will be fine. I didn't understand your question. Now, when it comes to milk, I don't know if I'm right, if I did understand you well. When it comes to milk, you can use powdered milk, you can use fresh milk, you can use condensed milk, you can use evaporated milk. Milk is milk. But now the quantities vary, right? If you're using powdered milk and you use enough quantity of powdered milk, you can use water to mix. If you're using condensed milk, you can as well use water because condensed milk is quite thick, and I'll recommend you reduce your quantity of sugar because condensed milk is extremely sweet. It's extremely sweet. But if you're a sweet tooth person, then that's fine. Right, so I'm going to be using my fresh milk. And shit just happened. Okay, this is something just happened. An unfortunate situation just happened. So I was about using my fresh milk, but I just noticed that the fresh milk is not as fresh as I wanted. So I won't be using it. You can see I won't be using it. But why? It's supposed to, what's the date of today? Today is July. It's July. It's supposed to be July. Oh, so the milk had expired, so I won't be using it. So it expired already, so we're going to be throwing this. We won't be using this. And now we're going to be using, thank God I have some evaporated milk in the house, so we're going to be using pig milk. All right. In this case, we're going to be adding some little water, just some little amount of water. So yes, So we're going to add in evaporated milk. Or you'll be adding it in batches, just add it in small batches and then mix. Then you add a little bit. So we're gonna add a bit of water. Okay, sis, thank you so much. Thanks so much. So now we're gonna add a little bit of water. So I've used 1 cup of water. So I'm actually struggling here right now to mix this because it's not an easy task, honestly. It isn't. If you have a mixer, then I'm happy for you. If you don't like me, go ahead and use your hands and mix everything. So I'm gonna add a little bit of water again, just a little bit, just a little amount because it's still very hard. Okay. Thanks for the likes, guys. Okay. Now we good. Yes, it's not an easy job. Demands a lot of energy. Well, that's when you're doing a large amount like this. This is 2 kilograms of flour. Sorry. So you need to knead it now. We are knitting it. Just need to knit it, and it requires a lot. A lot. Yes, of course, you can. You can. But what kind of chocolate flakes? I don't think so. Well, if baking it, yes, but frying, I'm not quite sure. I've never tried that though. I've never tried. But baking, I think you can. But frying, I'm not very sure what's going to happen to the chocolate. Chocolate powder, yes, you can add chocolate powder, but chocolate flakes, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. Maybe that's some experiment we're going to take into the ChanaZie's kitchen. So you can see our dough is almost perfectly made. It's not sticky. If in case, just in case, you somehow add too much water or too much milk, you could go ahead and add a little bit of flour. That's just a tip, all right? So we are almost done with our mixing. And then we need one last ingredient. One last but very, very important. Who is going to guess the ingredient? Who is going to guess? I'm waiting. I have a special ingredient I always add to all my meals. They never miss in any meal. And I always advise you guys to add it to your meals. It doesn't matter what you're cooking, just add that ingredient. That's what we need right now. Quiz. Who can tell me the ingredient that is missing? Who can tell me? We have one special ingredient that we add in all our meals at ChanaZie's kitchen. Nope. We added nutmeg long ago. No. I add this ingredient to all my meals, even my teas, my smoothies, my teas, my vegetables. I mean, every meal. Fufu, I add it to everything, every single meal. Nope, not paprika. No. I repeat, I add it to everything. There is no single meal I cook without adding this very ingredient. And the ingredient costs you literally nothing, but you must add it to all your meals, Okay, I'll give you like 5 minutes to have a rethink. I add it to my teas, to coffee, to smoothies, to cakes, chin-chins, ice creams, fufu. I mean, I add it to every single ingredient. You've got 5 minutes. Secret of Laura. If you watch my videos, you will notice that I have a particular ingredient I add to all my meals. There is no meal I add. There is no single ingredient I don't add, no single meal I don't add that particular ingredient to. Be it coffee, be it tea, that is the ingredient that is missing right now, and we need to add it to this meal, to this chin-chin. I add it to my cakes, I add it to my teas, I add it to my smoothies. Nope, not cinnamon. You tried, but it's not cinnamon. We've got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. I mean, 4 minutes left. I have this special ingredient I add to all my meals. There is no single meal I do not add this ingredient to. And I always remind everybody to add it to their meals because it's very, very important. Very important. This tells me I've been wasting my time reminding us to use this specific ingredient. It's so important. So important. Yes! I knew if Dr. Ami comes here, she will respond. Yes, that's love. We need to add love to our cooking. Yes, we need to add love to our cooking. So it's not ginger, it's love. Love is the only ingredient I add to all my meals. That's the only ingredient I add to all my meals. So yes, if you watch my videos, if you're keen, you will always hear me remind you to add love to your cooking because I always add love to my cooking. Yes. So our congratulations goes to Dr. Ami. She won. Yeah. So always add love to your cooking. Do I need to remind you again? Do you understand? Do you understand? Love is very important. So we're going to add love to our cooking. Yes, we're going to add love to our cooking. So we're going to add about 3 large glasses of love. Since we are all cooking together, we're going to add that. So let's do that together. We are adding our first cup of love. We are adding the second cup of love. We are adding the third cup of love. And we are rounding up with the mixture. Yes. Do you understand? Always add love to your cooking. It is very important. It is very, very, very important. Yes, so we are adding 3. We've added 3 large cups of love, glasses of love, and then we're just going to give it another quick. So we're just going to knead it a little bit, and then we're going to allow it to rest. So we are done with this. We're going to allow it to rest for about 4 to 5 minutes. So we're going to let it rest for about 45 minutes. Yes, we need muzzles. Honestly, we need muzzles to do this. Thank you so much, Sister Amy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to use some clean film and then cover our mix and allow our dough to rest for about 45 minutes. Sis, thank you so much. Yes, love can't hide, truly. It can't. It can't. Thank you so much. Thanks so much. So you were hiding in the bush, yeah? So we're just gonna cover it and let it sit in one corner of the house or the kitchen. It's gonna sit there and wait for us, all right? Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and clean and wait for Laura. Laura was like, ginger. It's true, I add ginger to most of my things, but we didn't add ginger in this, and we don't add ginger in everything. Yeah, you don't add ginger to Achu. I have some meals where I don't add ginger, but yeah, I usually add ginger to my smoothies and some of my teas, but it doesn't go with everything. Yeah, we've got some meals that do not carry ginger, but love goes with everything. Love goes with everything. I don't know who said cinnamon. Somebody said cinnamon. Cinnamon doesn't go with everything. Cinnamon goes with chin chin too, but it doesn't go with everything. Oh my God. So yeah, we're gonna clean up. I don't know if we should clean up together or I should end the live stream and then start when we're about to fry, because we're gonna wait for about 45 minutes. It's yeah. So I don't know, but I'll just be cleaning up while we chat. And you know, I have my niece in the house with me. She could not even give me that answer. Oh my God. Oh my God. She was screaming at the back, Auntie, love, 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 love. I said, go to my live stream. I can't hear you. Go to my live stream. I can't hear you. What are you saying again? Oh my God. Yo. Okay. right, friends. So, should I call this a pause? We need to call it for now. I don't know if I'll call it a break. Let's take a break. We'll be back in 45 minutes to see what our dough turned out to be. All right. So we're here. Our dough is waiting for us. So let's take a break. Let's have a coffee break. Is it a coffee break or a tea break? I'll take a tea break because I'm a tea person. So anybody can take something, take some coffee, take some tea, take some ice cream, and we're going to be back in 45 minutes. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to share, don't forget to like, and don't forget to revisit. We'll be back in 45 minutes. I love you all, and I'll see you in 45 minutes. Thank you so much. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate with the fun we had, especially with the short quiz. It was really interesting. It made me laugh a lot, but yeah, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. All right, let's call it a day for now, and I'll see you in 45 minutes. Yalla. Ciao. Oops. Yes. So bye.